So, you know how news is supposedly supposed to be unbiased and whatnot? Um, and you know how that doesn't really happen all that much, where it actually is unbiased? I just found this thing. Now, before I even say what it is, if you didn't read the title, or anything, any of opinions, these are my opinions, um, as a trans gay, big gay, as part of the LGBT community, and as a student in a school, because that's pretty much exactly what this video is about. Who is also very woke. I think that's the word. So that's the right word to use. Very woke. So I believe in being open-minded. But I still do have strong opinions about some things, like what things are wrong and what things are right. And if you're new here and you just came to scope my opinions, that's what's about to happen. So fun, cool. Oh, by the way, I found this video because I was wanting to find a scene from the K-12 movie, the Melanie Martinez movie, with the trans teacher, just because that scene was sad, really sad, uh, and I this came up. I couldn't find a scene, but like a million videos popped up, and this was the first one, and I was like, ooh, maybe it's something progressive and woke, a woke news channel. Here's my response to it. Also, please don't sue me. I'm not monetizing this video or anything. I'm probably gonna get like some sort of ad thing. Eh.
Yeah, this health education framework, as they're referring to this abomination, it basically starts sexualizing and confusing the children beginning in kindergarten, right? We broke the story at Freedom Project a few months ago when these were just a draft policy document that was being discussed. They recommend a book for 5-year-old children that teaches them that there are infinite genders. They can be nous-trois or agender or pangender or neutral spirit, all these kinds of wacky ideas.
Wacky ideas, first off. Basically saying that any gender that is not female or male, or intersex, they seem to forget that that's also a biological thing that happens as intersex. They just like to ignore that. Um, Wacky ideas. All that's wacky. Teaching that to kindergartners. Now, personally, I knew that I was trans from, the age of 3. I didn't know the word for it, but I was like, I'm a guy. I'm a guy. I think that's our groceries arriving. Anyways, I'm a guy. I knew that, and I feel like if they started teaching, maybe not that much, cause it's a kindergartner, they can't understand a whole lot. But I feel like introducing the idea of being trans and whatnot from an early age would be better for people, so that trans people don't get bullied as much by their peers. Yeah.
And for kindergartners, right? They're telling the kindergartners, you might have been born in the wrong body. You might actually be a girl in a boy's body. From the youngest ages possible, teaching them things that are just unspeakable, that you can't even talk about.
Being trans is unspeakable. I wasn't sure if you were aware of that, but existing as a trans person, that doesn't even happen. It's unspeakable.
Here, and it gets progressively worse, if you can imagine. By the time they're in middle school, they need to know about polyamory, where these are sexual relationships involving multiple partners.
I don't see a problem with that, because that is generally where they start sexual education. Period. Is in middle school. So I don't think that introducing that, hey, some people are have more than one partner when they're already talking about that kind of thing is that big of a deal. I don't see how that's a problem. It just seems like I'm expanding the idea of what can be defined as a relationship. I don't get it. I'm not. If you're wondering, I'm not personally polyamorous, but I don't see the issue.
Once they get to high school, they're going to learn about fisting and every conceivable perversion you can think of, and then many that you can't think of. Right? I had to look up some of these terms because they're just so out there. This is stuff that even 5 years ago would have been completely unthinkable.
So I'm not in high school yet, so I can't say much on this, but I feel like around high school sounds like a type of a good time when they would talk about types of sex, and I don't see how introducing other ways besides the traditional a male and a female, I don't I don't see how that is that big of a deal. Like I'm just kind of confused by this video because he's making like a huge deal out of stuff that really is like you're just expanding the original idea. I don't get it. Unthinkable. Oh my god.
And so this is what's coming in California and America. You should prepare yourself because this is coming to Oklahoma and Montana and rural Tennessee and everywhere in between.
America, be prepared. Good gays. The gays and the transgenders, because that's totally a word, are taking over. They're taking over your education by not having a narrow-minded male and female, kind of expanding the idea of what, partners and relationships can be. Prepare yourself. It's the freaking apocalypse.
We are having no moral judgments whatsoever. And this is where we saw last week, a couple weeks ago, Alex.
You're having no moral judgments. Because teaching kids to not be homophobic pieces of trash. Yeah, anti-bullying. That's not morally okay, man. I just freaking love homophobia. That's so morally wonderful.
Pedophilia, when we recognize that a particular school superintendent was arguing that teaching pedophilia, that being sexually attracted to children is just another form of sex.
Okay, obviously not. Okay, obviously not. Obviously, pedophilia is bad, and we should not be encouraging pedophilia. But like you said, that was one superintendent, one person that said this. Also, I feel like informing kids about pedophilia is important. Being like, hey, this is a thing that can happen. Avoid it. But I do agree that teaching kids that, hey, pedophilia is great, is an awful idea. I never thought I would agree with this man. Oh my god.
We had a superintendent actually say that.
Answer me why you're teaching pedophilia in school to ninth graders.
Teaching what?
Pedophilia, pederasty, right here.
I've explained to you that this is done because we are talking about historical perspectives of how gender relations and different types of sexual orientations have existed in history.
And we had the school district who wanted to argue with us, admit that they had to pull aspects of pedophilia out of their curriculum.
Okay, aspects of pedophilia. I feel like, again, teaching kids about it, saying, hey, this is a bad thing, avoid it, is important. Obviously, like I've said before, teaching kids that it's fine is awful. I don't get this video, though. Like, all this and the stuff he says later on in this video, we haven't even gotten through, like, half of it, I don't think. This video, man. This video.
So without getting any more into the really disgusting weeds of all of this, talk more about the framework for our moms and dads. It's not law, but it's 700 pages.
Yeah, well, I think they make this deliberately confusing, Duke. So they have something called the Healthy Youth Act that was passed a few years ago that mandates the teaching of certain things. So this mandates, for example, the teaching of LGBT people as heroic historical characters in history class.
Yes, sir, because believe it or not, history that's not just about straight people is also important. History that's not only about straight people is important. I will say it again. History involving other people who are not just straight, aka including LGBT history and not just straight person history, is important, sir. I don't see what your issue is with teaching kids about LGBT history. Like, that's important. Like, all kinds of history is important if you want to be a more well-rounded human being. What?
Some of them actually homosexuals or transgender. Harvey.
Those aren't words used to describe people. Oh my god, look at that homosexual. I mean, I've made that joke many times, but that's because I am gay. Big gay. So I feel like I can make jokes about that without it coming across weird, but transgender, describing somebody who is trans, you're not like, oh my god, look at that transgendered person. Look at that transgender over there. No one says that. That's not a thing.
Milk, for example, is one of the big heroes they build up, the first openly homosexual elected official in America. Also happened to be a child rapist who raped children, some of whom, these boys, went on to go commit suicide later. So, of course, Obama had to name a Navy ship after him. Great guy to build up as a hero in the minds of middle school children, high school children, elementary school children.
Wait, so they took one example. I'm just gonna throw this out there. They took one example. They're like, oh my god, all these great, who are actually horrible LGBT figures, and they name one person who happened to be a pedophile. It's like, straight people are also pedophiles. It's not. I literally cannot. I cannot with this video. Oh my god. Uh. So clearly, because one gay person, well, there's plenty of gay pedophiles, there's plenty of straight pedophiles, there's plenty of everyone pedophiles, pedophiles everywhere, because welcome to Earth. No, because they took one gay person who happened to be a pedophile. Also, like, where are they teaching him as a great historical figure? Like, I know they said this was California, but earlier they also said this is going all over America, and it's like, I live in Florida. We don't talk about LGBT stuffs. Like, we literally do not. Like, it's mainly the students, like me, who, like, if a teacher says something questionable, we're like, maybe don't say that about gay people or trans people or whatever. It's like what?
And then they just go back retroactively and just declare that certain people must have been homosexual because they didn't get married, or because there's no evidence that they were attracted to women, and so they must have been homosexual. So
Okay, clearly marriage doesn't have anything to do with it. And technically, if you're like a guy, not being attracted to girls doesn't instantly mean you're gay. Like, you could also not be attracted to boys. But, like, if you are attracted to boys and you're not attracted to girls, you are gay. And if you're not attracted to anyone else, I forgot to put that in there before y'all yell at me in the comments. No, I mean, like, if, since we're going off the binary system, not being attracted to anyone, that would make you aromantic or asexual or that whole thing. Or, and if you are only attracted to guys, yeah, that makes you gay. But no one's saying that, hey, just because you're not attracted to every single female or whatever, I don't even know what he said at this point, I'm so done with this video. Just because you're not attracted to girls instantly makes you gay. And no one's saying that, hey, you didn't get married, you're gay. Like, what? Not everyone gets married.
this part is mandated. There's no opt-out mechanism. The children are required to sit through this. The parents cannot opt them out.
My god, I cannot believe we have to sit here and listen to all these freaking lessons about gay people. Yeah, I can't believe we have to listen through through all these lessons about all these straight white males and how great they are. That came out wrong. No, but like, I just don't see how teaching LGBT history is such an awful thing. Like, I just don't.
Then this health education framework, which was adopted this week by the California board, this is supposed to be kind of guidance, right? So the school districts are all expected to adopt something that complies with this, but it's not technically law. And so what you have is the school districts have options. Do you want poison A, poison B, or poison C? It's all poison, and you still have to drink some poison, but you get a little bit of choice in terms of what poison you're going to drink.
Okay, so you have option A, B, and C. So teaching about gay. I don't even know what he's going for, but apparently teaching about LGBT is poison. So let's see. We have arsenic. We have cyanide. We have alcohol. Is that a poison? I think it technically is in some ways. Teaching LGBT education is poisonous. It will kill your children. What?
And this is what the health education framework does. It issues these terrible recommendations for books. You mentioned presenting all of these sexual proclivities, if you will, in a non-judgmental way. In fact, that is the marketing slogan for one of the books that teaches these things that we were just mentioning.
Yeah, that's the point of teaching LGBT education, is so that people are less judgmental. That's the point, sir.
And they tell you this book presents all these things in a non-judgmental way so that children don't have to feel judged for engaging in types of things that 5 years ago, again, would have been completely unthinkable. So total attack on the family, total war on civilization.
Oh my god! Teaching LGBT topics to your kids is a war on civilization. Jesus Christ.
Coming down through a combination of state law and a combination of state policy frameworks and recommendations. And that's what California is dealing with. And again, the whole country will be dealing with it soon.
We are going to take your children at young ages and begin the process of mainstreaming this.
Is an outrage that we are trying to make LGBT people not seem like monsters, because they're not. An outrage to teach kids that being gay or being trans or being all of the things, any of the things, is not the worst thing ever. It's not bad. It's humanity. Welcome to Earth. Humans evolved. We're gay. We're Homo sapiens. We out here doing a gay. And you're not happy about it.
We're going to, as you said, we're going to start telling 5-year-olds, Alex. We're going to start telling 5-year-olds that they may be in the wrong body, that they have to take an inventory of themselves at age 5.
Hey, obviously no one is telling 5-year-olds, hey, you have to be trans. No one's saying that. They're just telling kids, and again, I would have appreciated this because, bullying would be less of a problem. If you're like, hey, if you or someone you know or somebody you're in class with ends up being trans, gay or trans, yeah, that's fine. Like, I don't see why you're making such a big deal out of stuff that's not a big deal.
And ask themselves if they really are the boy they are born to be, or maybe there's something else.
The boy they're born to be. That's a whole. That really annoys me, because, people are like, oh my god, God, I don't even believe in God, so I don't see why they're trying to convince, why these people aren't, but why some people try to use religion to convince me that I shouldn't be trans. You're like, God made you this way. So listen to it. And it's like, I'm not religious, and even if I was, I think my personal fulfillment, I'm not even gonna go into religion, but I feel like my personal fulfillment is what's important in life. And I don't care what you think. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm a guy, and I'm the boy I was born to be, as you said. Just happened to be trans. What? I don't understand this video.
This is suggestive. This is indoctrination. This is brainwashing, for lack of a better word.
Oh my god. Teaching your kids LGBT topics is brainwashing them. Oh my. I guess this may seem fake. I literally laughed when I saw that. I was like, it's not brainwashing. What kind of conspiracy theorist? What?
It's developmentally inappropriate. But the argument here is, you've got all the laws now, right, that mandate teaching of this, teaching of that. As you said, mainstreaming gay and lesbian heroes from kindergarten, all that. That's law.
Having gay people not be seen by society as weird, horrible monsters, it's a law, which I didn't know that, because it's not a law everywhere, clearly, or bullying wouldn't be so much a problem. But mainstreaming of the LGBT and of these heroes, because mainstreaming of all these straight cis people, that's fine, but and you start to introduce a guy liking a guy and a guy who's trans, a girl who's trans, that's an outrage, and we won't stand for it. Oh my god. This freaking, I don't even know how many times I have to say this. I don't understand this video at all.
And if you're going to make a law that says you have to mainstream all these different forms of sexual experimentation, then the guidance just tells them how to implement the law. There is no getting around this.
By normalizing and even encouraging homosexuality,
first off, all these sexual experimentations, because, if you're gay, you're not actually gay. You're just a freaking science project. Also, by introducing and even encouraging homosexuality, it's like you're not going to go up to your kids and be like, hey, you have to be gay. No one does that. What?
the schools are going to produce a whole lot more of it. And the research that has come out is proving this to be correct. We reported at the Freedom Project Media that a survey by the UCLA, the University of California at Los Angeles, found that 27% of California children aged 12 through 17 are now gender non-conforming. So,
my theory, and what is probably correct, is that they are not creating trans and non-conforming and all these different, you're not creating LGBT people. It's just that you're educating people so that people who are LGBT and they just didn't realize it yet, they always kind of knew there was something wrong, but they didn't really know what it was because they weren't taught it before, are finally realizing, oh, that's what that is, and making the connections. That's what's happening. You're not creating trans people. No, people are realizing that they're trans because they're finally being educated about it correctly. And you're like, oh, that's why I always felt weird.
boys who don't accept the fact that they're boys, or girls that don't accept the fact that they're girls.
Boys who don't accept the fact that they're boys, and girls who don't accept the fact that they're girls. Do I even need to say anything about that? I guess I'm just a girl who doesn't accept the fact that she's a girl. Except I'm not a girl. And there's no fact there. I'm just not a girl. It's not. It's literally not that. Like, what does that even mean? Boy, oh my freaking god, I don't get this video.
We are going to see a whole lot more of this in the years to come. And parents, what are you going to do about this? Your children are being put at risk, not just of HIV, not just of confusion.
Remember, parents. Oh my god. Remember, parents. Let your kids knowing that gay people aren't horrible, because they're not. Your kids being educated about LGBT topics will put them at a higher risk for HIV? What? Wait, what does that even mean? What? Wait, I just realized how weird that is. That doesn't make any sense, though.
But of destroying their whole lives.
Oh my god! Your kids learning about LGBT topics will destroy their whole lives. Remember that, parents. Oh my god.
Are you going to tolerate it? That's the question.
And you know what's funny? The same public school progressives, who put boundaries around everything, boundaries around speech, around discourse, boundaries around the Second and First Amendments, boundaries around what kids are allowed to eat on college campuses, constantly fencing off individual liberties and freedoms whenever progressive issues are at stake. When it comes to sexuality, they are literally arguing for a boundless sexuality.
Okay, so because these authority figures, I don't know exactly what they said. Authority figures, because, oh my freaking god, because their opinions about completely unrelated stuff that has nothing to do with LGBT stuff, because those are, I don't even know what they were going for, but because those are bad, I guess that's what they're going for, although I don't trust these guys' opinions. Because those are bad, clearly that means that them not hating gay people is some awful thing. What? What?
No holds barred, no boundaries, no walls, everything all the time, anytime, taught to your kids as if it's the same thing.
We're all people. Some of us are straight. Some of us are gay. Some of us are aromantic, got umbrella. Some of us are pan. Some of us are bi. We're all people. So yeah, we are all the same thing. And no one's claiming, oh my god, you're a cat, you're a dog, you're a bee. No one's saying that. What does that even mean?
We are light years away from simply teaching kids the biology of sex.
No, schools do teach about biology and the biology of sex. It's not fun for some of us. But that's another thing I don't get. I don't see why you're acting like we're forcing them to cater to the 1% of people. Because, like, only about 1 to 2% of people are actually trans. No, that's not. We're not forcing you to cater to, like, to trans people. Because, like, most people are cis. We're not saying that. We're simply saying, hey, maybe be a bit more open. We're simply saying, hey, don't discriminate against us. There is a difference, sir.
Sperm and egg, male and female. We're so far away from that, which we were promised in the 70s it would never get beyond that.
Times change, sir. We cannot go off of what one or two. I don't even know who said that. I don't think if anyone said that, I don't get why. We're way beyond the 70s, sir. Come on. Like, times change. No one's forcing you to cater to anything, but also times have changed since the 70s. You need to learn that, sir.
Right, as your friend in California said. And now we're in a situation where there are absolutely no sexual boundaries, and there are absolutely no boundaries that parents are allowed to erect for their kids either.
Wait, no one's gonna break into your house. Houses, yeah, your parents have freedom to tell their kids your opinions. Your opinions might be a bit discriminatory, but they're not. No one, the FBI's just gonna bust through the door and they're gonna be like, hey, I heard your kids saying straight, what discriminatory things. You're gonna be arrested. No one is doing that, sir. No one is forcing parents to teach their kids certain things. You're simply having schools be more open-minded. What?
I completely agree. And, the American College of Pediatricians put out a paper some years ago now where they said that telling children that they might have been born in the wrong body and that they can take drugs, dangerous drugs, puberty blockers.
Did he just call puberty blockers dangerous drugs? Now, okay, I do feel like if you are going to take hormone blockers or hormones or anything, first off, hormones, you're not gonna give those to like a 3-year-old, sir. And also hormone blockers, those are to kids who are around my age, who are old enough to say, hey, I'm this, I'm that, whatever. They are not dangerous drugs. You know what is a dangerous drug? Cocaine, crack, heroin, methane, all these things that are actually dangerous drugs, not what?
And hormones and mutilate their genitals and actually become the other gender.
Little kids are not getting surgery. They are not. And also, how is getting, oh my god, getting sex replacement surgery, I don't even know if that's the name for it, but getting, like, surgery for being trans, I guess, that's not mutilating your genitals, that's changing them. There's a difference, sir. Oh my god, look at your mutilated genitals. Like, no one, what? Oh.
That's not just, a disagreement of opinion. That is institutionalized child abuse.
LGBT education is child abuse. Letting your kid not be cis is child abuse. Because kids aren't getting surgery and kids aren't getting hormones, and the only kids who are getting that sort of stuff, hormones only go to kids about 14 to 16 and then up. That's like a starting range, and then hormone blockers are like, and cis people get hormone blockers too. It's not just trans people. But, like, it's only younger kids who get hormone blockers, but it's not like they're permanently changing your body. They're just preventing it from. You're actually doing the opposite. You're preventing it from changing. And I don't. And little kids aren't getting surgery. So I really don't know what they mean by child abuse.
And I am inclined to agree 100%. What is happening in these schools is institutionalized child abuse, and I think parents need to think real hard before they trust their children with schools that are promoting, that are normalizing this kind of behavior.
Parents, you can't be letting your kids not hate gay people. What kind of awful parents are you?
This kind of non-morality, if you will, very dangerous.
So that was that video. I'm not even sure what else to say. Also, by the way, Olga, obviously sarcastic humor. Like, oh my god, parents, you need to listen. You can't let your kids not be homophobic. That was obviously sarcasm, so don't freak out in the comments. That was obviously sarcasm. But here's some more sarcasm for you. Remember, parents, letting your kids know about LGBT folks and not being homophobic is equivalent to giving your child a bottle of arsenic or cyanide or any other poison and just being sip it, or abusing your child, because remember parents, not being homophobic is child abuse. Stay derpy, stay murphy, stay hydrated.